the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with Abati and his family and all of us here. Surely goodness and mercy will follow each and every one of us here wherever we are, and we shall dwell in the name and the house of the Lord.
In our midst, we have the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Dr. Hamzat. Please, a big round of applause for him, please. Of course, my royal father is seated. Take that as a signal. Would I say we miss him? But I'll say he should weigh in with his knowledge of foreign affairs. This is one gathering that the video should be shown to Donald Trump that we are a peace, because take it back to the early 80s when this young man was my junior at Abati Primary School. Baba just said something. I will not mention BBHS there, but Abati Grammar School to be specific, because I have the mic. Example to others. His brilliance, his intellect is amazing. Is somebody clapping here? So, the Chinese will say Chin Chong, meaning not be today. His name has been mentioned earlier.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected.
Yes, why we are done with that,
Which is senior to our school in age, but not in any other way. We leave that to another day. You did not count much on what I regard as essential attributes of life for success and for nation building. And I'm happy that now that we have seen it all, those essential attributes are as important to you today as they were to me in those days and as they are to me today. What I see in this is time, is the great proof of truth. The truth that I stood for at that time. In time, you have now come to stand for it. And these attributes are attributes that are imperative. Individual, either as individual or as organization, ethically, morally, and wholesomely for nation building and individual development. I am happy
yes, we've seen
that
to identify a lot of ways.
in my lifetime I can say
Let me say something. I don't know whether they remember. I'm going to be told later about how President Jonathan became the president. There is an incident. Many of you remember the National Peace Committee that I convened in 2015 when there was an apocalyptic diagnosis that Nigeria was going to collapse. and the tension that existed at that moment, something happened. And it was about getting President Jonathan and General Buhari to sign a commitment to free, fair, and credible elections in Nigeria. We fixed the appointment. President Jonathan gave us the time. Delta State. And his schedule had already been concluded. Then, of course, at about midnight, General Buhari came back, and I woke up in the morning only to be told that President Buhari was available and would come for the signing of the peace accord. President Jonathan was going to be in fantastic, one of the most memorable paper magazines. Started at the age of 26. Peter Enahoro editing Daily Times. Matthew Mbondoka, a lot of other people and their great achievement. The challenge therefore is what happened as Nigerian statesmen, that their names resonate across the length and breadth of Nigeria without punctuation. You will find the Yorubas have their leader in Awolowo, the Igbos have their leader in Zip, the Northerners have their leader in Sardauna. We who are children of a lesser God have no idea. We don't know where to turn. We don't know for people who are going to adopt us. When you talk about the Americans will tell you that there are people that they call founding fathers, and they become literally sacred monuments in the sense that they are not. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. You know? So I'm going to take 10 minutes, please. Yeah, I'm going to take 10 minutes. I came all the way from Sokoto and let's walk over here. So if you wanted me to speak for 10, I would have done a video and sent to you and then say it. Now, the Fabian Society is a very prestigious institution. They were responsible for founding what is now the London School of Economics. I'm sure there are people here who went to LSE. They founded, Lee Kuan Yew went to LSE, Zikiwe and Sardauna, saying, the Nnamdi Azikiwe was saying, Sardauna, for us to be a great nation, let's forget our differences. And Sardauna said, no, let's not forget, let us remember them. The implications and the distinction between forgetting and remembering is what has brought us to where we are. So if you find yourself moving without motion, there is a reason. In 1957, there were debates. There were all kinds of problems as to what will this country look like. The minorities in the south, we are afraid of the domination by the Igbos. The minorities in the north, we are afraid of the domination by the Hausa Fulani. But the British had given the north 3/4 of the land, and instead, in response to the Minority Commission's report, we were told, no, take this, don't worry, you Christian minorities, don't worry, the north will look after you. Looking after us for this number of years, now Trump has come knocking. So this is not where we ought to be, but this is where we found ourselves. So I want to make the point that we must go back in reloading to ask ourselves, what is happening? What are we doing? What can we do differently? Now is that we need to target certain areas. What do you want to remedy when you are making a law? For example, we have been witnessing a flood of defections now across the entire country. These defections cannot happen in Ghana. They can't happen in Ghana. You know why? Not because Ghanaians are not hungry, not because they are not angry, not because they don't feel betrayed, but loyalty to your party. President Jonathan will probably tell his own story about his own experience. I think he told it in Ghana when the speaker defected with 5 members, and our law says that if you defect, you have to write a letter to the speaker who will announce that you have defected. Now the speaker has defected. Who is going to write a letter to him? So these are the kind of constraints that we need to remove from our system. Finally, I wanted to make reference to something that Olisa Abakoba wrote as his remedy for the review of our constitution. There's also something about because the world is looking for him, and very often people ask
if you have people like President Obama, why are you still having the problems you are having? Well, we are running on half time already. It is time for us to begin to think a bit more clearly about the kind of values that can hold our society together. Finally, just a word on the Trump thing. I think all of us are confusing Trump for a sickness. It's a symptom, not a disease. Trump is a symptom of the disease that is in our country. Now, I think it's Yoruba people that say that it doesn't matter if a snake is dead, whether a woman kill him or whether a snake is dead. So whether it is Trump or whoever that has given us this jab, it is time for Nigeria to wake up. Thank you very much.
I just said 10 minutes. 1 eye is not enough for Ruben. We know him. You know him. The world knows him. Thank you, Bishop Ruben. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We still celebrating Dr. Ruben Abati. Permit me to quickly acknowledge the presence of a few more people. We have got His Royal Highness Prince Adeshegun Onero, Chairman Board of Directors, British.
He's of a man. He wears intellect like a crown, humility like a cloak, and love like a compass, forever guided, forever grounded. Born in Abeokuta on November 7, 1965, Ruben Adeleye Abati is a name that has risen like the morning sun, steady, bright, inevitable, scholar, writer, thinker, commentator, husband, father, a man whose words have carried weight and whose life has carried meaning. He graduated with first-class honors in theater arts from the University of Calabar, bagging the Vice Chancellor's Prize at just earned a PhD in dramatic literature theory and criticism from the University of Ibadan in 1990, law at Lagos State University in 1999, leadership training at Oxford in 2015, professional journalism in Maryland from 1990 to the weighty editorials of The Guardian. Abati danced across genres like a man fluent in every tongue. He became a foxtrot professional of the pen. One moment teasing romance readers, the next firing thunder against power. His words did not merely report, they sculpted opinion, challenge authority, unsettled comfort. In 2011 to 2015, Ruben crossed the Rubicon from critic to insider, becoming special advisor on media and publicity to President Goodluck Jonathan. It was a baptism of fire. The critic turned spokesman, the poet turned shield. And that chapter closed. He returned not silenced, but sharpened to television and print. Today, as anchor of the morning show on Arise TV, his voice is law and laughter, wisdom and wit, sarcasm and substance. The voices around says she polished the public giant into a man renewed in style, softened in heart, sharpened in purpose. Ask him, and he will tell you plainly, Kike completes me. She is his balance, his laughter, his debate partner, his ride or die. On air, he may spar with politicians, but at home, it's Kike's smile that wins the argument. It is said that a man is not truly great until his home applauds him. In Kike, Abati found not just applause, but standing ovation. Giant, yet modest to a foe. He calls stars by their titles, never by name. Sheena Peters to him is always megastar. He wears criticism like a badge and controversy like cologne. From journalism prizes to Commonwealth honors, his shelf is heavy, but his humor keeps him light. He is a man who can thunder on national issues, yet joke about jollof rice the next minute. A lion in the public square, a lamb in his living room. That is
at the editorial board meeting of the Guardian very early the next morning, back in those days. Let me tell you a story. Sometime in the early 2000s, a senior and much older colleague of Abati, perhaps out of malice or envy of both, sought to bruise Abati's ego at the workplace. The story is told that on that fateful day, to the hearing of not a few people gathered, the big Oga said rather condescendingly, quote, "Everywhere I go, everyone keep asking, where's Ruben Abati? Who is Ruben Abati? They don't know that nobody here got it." I saw our big daddy around. I'm sure you know about the story. One more. Of course, that was a big lie. In the estimation of the average reader or follower of the Guardian back then, Abati certainly counted much more.
Ruben, only assigned by your work ethic, I am beyond proud of you. It's a great vision. Let's clap for it. Let's clap for it, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, while all that was going on, a few people joined us, and some are already here that we did not acknowledge. Please permit.
He accepted Council Publication Nigeria Limited, even though we have never met. I quite appreciate his beautiful wife, which is debut. The beauty equally reflects in what we are seeing because he was the guidance. She was the guidance. She guided and made sure that things came out perfectly. She was a rock to make sure that we succeeded in getting these books here today. What we are presenting here today is just a fraction of many articles.
Okay, now I'm going to hand over the mic to Mr. President Abati. Good luck, Jonathan, to spread the good luck. We need to ever humble Ruben. I was going to push him closer, but he says he would rather just stay there. He wants to continue writing his love letters.
Thank you so much. The chairman of the occasion, His Excellency Baba Abati, our dear father. Thank you. Our very senior citizens are here with us. On behalf of all of us who are standing here, the author and the publisher, we hereby formally present this book for the Nigerian and international public.
Yes. Now ask him to come to Abuja to work with him, President Jonathan. And after that, I really want to figure out what you are now up to. Writing more books. I'm not aware of that part of you. Very happy. They're getting on very well. But the first thing I saw.
That, of course, was delivered in the Greco-Roman style. We come for Lady April. Thank you very much. So we do want to keep you standing, except for
English in all his newspaper reports and on the television are always simple but elegant English. Fantastic way of constructing various sentences. The level of sons and daughters all over the world. Not just being first in medicine, the best medical hospital in Nigeria, 1895, was built in Abeokuta. Not just in law, the first indigenous judge, and so on and so forth, including the newspaper itself, the first newspaper in Nigeria, also in Nigeria, the doyen of accountancy profession, name anything good in this country, you find an environment at the top of it. I congratulate you. And I want to say, the best is yet to come. He ain't saying nothing yet. He's only 60. By the time he's celebrating 70, and 80,
I need to go to hundreds on your own. I believe the books have been well written, and we are very proud of you. We've known you for more than 40 years.
The former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Olusegun Obasanjo, President Goodluck Jonathan, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Well,
And you have achieved significantly from all the testimonies, from those who have made speeches, and I don't want to bore the ears of people by repeating those. And as a person, let me also commend you very significantly. I first met Ruben and say the Friends of Jonathan, and we launched that book in Lagos, and you were invited to come and review the book. Because those Facebook posts very tiny little things. So when you look through, does it really make so much sense? But when Ruben Abati took over the review of that collection, said this is somebody that has something upstairs. It shows that you are a scholar, brainy, and intelligent person. And no doubt all your colleagues have been pouring encomium about their contributions to mass communication in Nigeria. We pray that you still continue doing those in the next 60 years before you get to the Paprika 120 years. And on the books, we have to thank you for contributing to knowledge. I always like people who write about me because sometimes it's so difficult for you to even write about yourself. Because people know you more than you know yourself. When you tend to write about yourself, probably there's this tendency to overpaint yourself in too many bright colors that probably you don't deserve. But when people write about you, it makes more meaning. So I'll be very, very interested to read how Goodluck Jonathan became president from back to back. And I need to do that in the next couple of days. And when you talk about how I became president, the man who made me president is right here. I hope you probably reflect that Obasanjo's rule. I hope you capture his role very. As a journalist, you follow up my stories even before you join me in the State House. So thank you for that. Of course, there were a lot of ups and downs about my political journey. But actually, my political journey looks like a political miracle. From deputy governor to become the president of this country under 4 years was a miracle. It's only God that made it possible. So I have to thank you for documenting it. And I know your scholarly competence. And this will be one of the best collections. Well, if somebody wants to read about Jonathan and the State House, I sincerely thank you and I'm very grateful. And let me thank all of you for coming today. I'm not giving vote of thanks, that is Tiki's job. Ruben Abati served with me very well. He's like a younger brother to me, and I have to appreciate that all of you, especially his king, his traditional rulers and others who are here, my good friend Governor Oti, Binga Daniel, and all others that are here to celebrate him. Father Cooker, thank you for that Episcopal lecture. In fact, when they were bringing the people to you, I wanted to jump up to go and push them away because we were still enjoying the presentation. I think you give me a copy of that speech. There's a lot to learn from it. And you're a scholar and you've done very well. And the book reviewer, thank you for a good job. As you were reviewing the book, I know that you and Abati belong to the same constituency. That's why you were able to bring out all this in a very simple and clear manner. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank all of you.
Became even more notorious.
victorious around the country.
One more word.
So, the book is also dedicated to Professor Pat Utome. Professor Pat Utome, for 10 years, I was on a program called Patito's Gang. At a time when he was going into politics, he just handed over to me. I said, okay, be presenting the program while I go and do politics. Some of the gangsters, I've seen one of them here, Tony Inacheta, Guifi, Tony Inacheta, thank you for coming. And then, of course, after that, after I went to Abuja and came back, I wrote again for The Guardian while resting for some time, and then I ended up on television. And Prince Nduka Baibela made that possible a second time. And that has become my daily engagement now, apart from writing columns on a weekly basis. So I thank all of them for giving me the platform, for giving me the opportunity to express myself. And I'm really grateful. Now, the book on President Jonathan. Well, by the time you look at it, it's not yet the book. There is a rule that when you serve in God, you are bound not to say what you know for about 10 years. So the 10 years have just passed. So the book on the Jonathan years will still come. But this is just, me warming up by putting together some of my earlier notes. And it's dedicated, of course, to President Jonathan. Because after we left office, there were some issues. The Buhari government was fighting us. And there were people who were saying, look, let's have a committee, let's fight back. I think after 2 or 3 meetings, President Jonathan called me and said, we should take it easy. Because after God, it is government. And that's why I wrote in that dedication that, Praise used to say, you can't succeed in this Lagos if you are wearing these Amatan clothes. He gave me opportunities. We traveled to Cairo, we traveled to other parts of the world. When the Guardian was shut down, he got me a job at the United States Agency for International Development with Dr. Stella Goins. So I was even busy, even when the Abati government shut down. So every time, and so when he sees me now with my bow tie, he says, yes, we are getting there. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And Kabiyesi Onitele, thank you very much, sir, for honoring this event. Now I see many people in the audience who have not yet been introduced. Mr. Danny Kugu is the general manager of Eko Hotels. Yes, sitting next to me is one of our heroes, Dr. Princess Yagune Baribo, daughter-in-law of Kabiyesi, the Alaki of Nagaland, but she's one of the